and welcome back to the Bogey Whisperer podcast. I'm your host, Tyler. Feels great to be back. It's been a couple weeks. I think it's been about a month. Just been busy with life stuff. I got sick there for a week. Got a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, the most important thing is we have passed 1,000 followers on Instagram. I know. Hold the applause. It took a long time, a lot longer than I would have liked, but we did it. So thank you to everybody who is following me on Instagram. Hop on over there, hit the follow button if you're not. It means a lot, and 1,000 was a number I was hunting for quite a while. So, long way to go. We're just getting started. Just want to say thank you to everybody for supporting and watching and listening and just being a part of whatever it is I'm trying to do here. Got the podcast, which we're doing right now, and then obviously Instagram and TikTok and on YouTube, which there is a YouTube video dropping, I think the 23rd. There'll be a YouTube video out on my channel. We got a new camera. Well, John got a new camera, and he came out and filmed me playing 9 holes because he can't play golf right now because he's injured because he blew out his knee playing golf, which is a pretty intense injury just for golf. How he did it, I don't really know. He was just swinging his driver, and then the next thing I know, he's on the ground, and I'm driving him back to his car. And then I finished my round, obviously. Shot an 89. Not a big deal. So, the big news, the big news is I have a new career low. And it was an 84 before. I've shot an 84 3 times. And my new career low is an 82. And I shot it back to back. I shot it on like a Wednesday, and then I played again, I think on Saturday or Sunday, and I shot another 82. So that was about a month ago, and I'm not going to go through like every shot or anything like that of both of those rounds. I'm just going to maybe go through some highlights and just kind of talk through what happened that day, like what was working, what wasn't working. First round, I shot 8 over on the front, and I shot 2 over on the back. It's a par 72. So that brings us to an 82. The negative part of the 2 over on the back is it came on 18. And we've all, all of us golfers who play and who are committed to getting better and want to shoot lower scores and are maybe just playing more than just for fun. Like, obviously I want to have fun, but I ultimately I want to get better. It's very rare that these times come around where you're like playing really good and you're like hunting to shoot your best score. And we all have like our own golf math in our head. We all have the math of like when we're feeling ourselves in a round or like feeling out our game, and we can kind of know like, okay, like I'm gonna have a chance, like this should be pretty good. I remember I looked down at the scorecard, and we were 6 holes into the back 9, and I was even. I was even through 6 holes on the back 9, and I know that I had shot 8 over on the front. And I'm like, I only have 3 more holes to go until we're done. Like, I could potentially shoot like an 80, a birdie would be crazy to shoot like a 79. Obviously I did not, but the 2 strokes on the back 9 of that first round came on 18, and on the 18th tee box was like the most nervous I've ever been. Like, truly, like I had no idea what I was doing on the tee box. It wasn't driver because it's kind of a weird hole. Like, it's sort of a blind tee shot. There's like left is really bad and right is okay, but I ended up going 5 iron, and I kind of sliced my shot into like the tree line on the right. And once I did that, it was just all downhill from there. Like, I'm just trying to scramble. My mind is just like, okay, like just play for the bogey. Like, not a big deal. Like, just punch out, whatever. And I don't know why I had a 4 iron to punch out, which I don't know why I was just like not in the right headspace. Like, I was like, just get the lowest lofted club. And I picked just the most conservative route just to punch out. And then I ended up like topping the ball, or I don't know. I don't even remember what I did. I just know that it went like 15 feet in front of me. And now I'm at like the base of this tree. Like, I'm not at the tree trunk, but there's like thick grass around the tree. Granted, I did have like a full swing. I wasn't like impeded by any branches or anything. But I take a full swing at that, and it's just thick grass, and I chunk it, and that goes like maybe 20 yards in front of me. So now I'm in the fairway hitting my fourth shot. I'm in the fairway. I'm like, I don't know, 120 yards out. And there's water not only left, but like also kind of the front of the green. And then there's sand on the right. Like it is a tough finishing hole. Like this course is not the hardest course. For those of you who live around here, it was Lincoln Hills. It was the Orchard side. And then the next round was on the Hills side. So at Lincoln Hills, I've shot an 82 at both courses. So again, it's not the hardest course, but like this last hole on the Orchard side is actually like kind of a tough hole. So, I mean, we all know the rest. I hit it on and I 2-putt and I get a double bogey, and ending the round like that kind of sucks. I mean, yes, I did shoot a career low. Like that feels great. But in the moment, I really was like, damn, I easily could have shot like a 79 that day, because on the front nine, I had so many 3-putts, like straight up, just like I'm trying to just 2-putt and I hit a solid first putt, a good lag putt, and I'm like 2.5, 3 feet away, and I just push the putt, or I think it's breaking a little bit, and then I miss it and I tap in for bogey. Like probably 3 or 4 bogeys on the front nine that are just tap ins that easily could have been pars. But the double on 18 really hurt. And then we'll move on to the next round. This was a really, really crazy round. I shot 10 over on the front and then even on the back. And this was another just like crazy, like looked down at my scorecard going like, what the hell is happening on this back nine? Like why? Like if I just played even semi-decent on the front, like, I mean, we'd really be cooking with gas, like shooting under 80. But, you know, I didn't shot even on the back. That feels great. Like that's the best, probably that is the best 9 holes I've ever played. I've never shot just even through 9 holes. And I think the next week we played at a harder course. I played at Turkey Creek and shot an 89. So it's, you know, that's golf. Like it's going to happen. But it does feel really good to now have another goal and another number to strive for, and to like know that I can do it, and that like that one round wasn't a fluke. My swing actually feels really good right now, except for the driver. The driver does not work. It's not working right now. Mostly because the range that I go to, the net is only like 200 yards. It's not very tall. It's just like a local muni. I don't really want you hitting drivers, so I only hit irons when I go there. So that's really why the driver is so lost. And it was really apparent the other day. I don't even remember what I shot, honestly. I don't think I stopped keeping score, but we were keeping score on the oh my God, I can't think of it. The scorecard, Jesus Christ. We were keeping score on the paper scorecard. I probably shot like a 95 or 96. Granted, it was a really tough course. We played at the Ridge in Auburn. The greens there are insane. Like the greens there and the pin placement is really tough, which that's actually where we played the 9 holes video. That'll be out on the 23rd, so be on the lookout for that. I saw this quote that said something to the effect of basically like, if you can't hit irons, you can't score, but if you can't hit driver, you can't play. And that's like kind of where I've been floating in and out of, is like, if the driver is lost, like I don't know how to get it back. Like I don't have like a go-to swing or like a go-to feel that's going to help me like get back on track. It's just like I'm hitting it all over the place. I'm not even just hitting like a 30-yard slice. I'm like hitting a slice out of bounds, and then the next one that I tee up is a duck hook out of bounds, and it's like, oh, and then it goes dead straight, and I aim left, like trying to play the slice, just trying to get one in play. So it's been rough. You know, the putting kind of comes and goes. Overall, the putting feels fine. I've really just been focusing on my irons because, knock on wood, I haven't had like a real shank in probably like 4 rounds of golf. Like a true like hosel shank, like dead right. Like obviously I'm still capable of hitting slices. That's probably never going to go away. But I really need to like go somewhere and just practice driver and just get a couple feels down, because, you know, if you can't drive the ball, like you're not playing golf, which for the last probably 6 or 7 months, that's kind of how I felt like I was playing. And it's been well documented on here and on my Instagram that like there's some days where I feel like I'm not even playing golf. Like, taking a 3/4 swing 7-iron punch out every single hole is not golf. Or like taking a drop and hitting your 3rd or 4th shot every other hole from the rough or the fairway because I keep hitting my ball out of bounds on the tee shot. Like, that's not golf. Like, you're not hitting like real golf shots. You're not like putting yourself in positions to like score. So yeah, that's just sort of the overall vibe of the last probably few months, has been the career low mixed in with just trying to figure out my driver. On the other note, I did play golf this morning. Played 9 holes before work, which is kind of fun, actually. I enjoyed like getting up super early and just getting a quick 9 in before we played. And I played with my dad and 2 of his buddies. They just started playing golf like not that long ago. I wouldn't say they're like complete beginners. One of them was a little better than the other one, but they're obviously beginners, and they have a lot of room to improve. And we were playing, and I just noticed, like, first of all, I'm always reminded of this when I'm around, when I feel like I'm the better golfer of the group, which, like, objectively I was the best golfer of the group. Me and my dad kind of flip-flop, but I did beat him today on 9 holes. So I guess we were the better golfers. But when you see someone who, is years behind you in golf, which, let's be honest, it takes years to get decently consistent at golf, you forget how hard it is. And you just forget that, like, man, this sport can just be so frustrating, right? And not that I'm, like, immune to having those days, but, those rounds are just much fewer far between, or the really, really bad shots are few and far between now than they are with, these guys who just started playing. The point being, there was a few shots where one of them in particular was playing the ball like exactly where it lied. Exactly. Like, he didn't move it. He wouldn't touch it. Like, granted, I love the integrity and I love the spunk to, like, no, I'm going to play this straight up and I'm going to play it. The course we were playing today was not in great condition. It was super overwatered, and it was early in the morning, so it was really dewy. The greens were so slow. I mean, we are hammering these putts, and you're just seeing the water come off the ball, and it's like, you're basically, every lag putt is just hammer the ball towards the hole and like just try and 2-putt, which is stupid to say because that's what you're trying to do every single time. But like, truly, like, you're just smacking the ball, and like wherever it goes is wherever it goes, and nothing was breaking either because it was just super slow and wet. Not the point. There was one hole in particular where it was par 3. He shanked hooked his shot left of the green, and there was like a little Charlie Brown tree, right? So there's a Charlie Brown tree, and then the ball is maybe like 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet outside of the Charlie Brown tree, right? Now, a golfer of that skill level, and probably even me, I'm sorry, I'm moving the ball most of the time. Depending on the round I'm having, depending on just the vibe, like, I'm not gonna like stand in the tree like he was. Like, he literally had like his whole like back was like just covered in the branches. Like, he was like moving the tree. And so I made a joke. I was like, "Are you and so playing for money?" Like, him and the other guy. And he's like, "No." And then I just kind of chuckled. I was like, "Oh, okay, like, cool." Like, I didn't say anything. I wasn't gonna like, whatever. Like, it's not my game. Like, whatever. That's his golf game. But in my head, if this guy's listening, which he's 100% not listening, if you want, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Like, that's not a real golf shot. Like, that shot, it's like not going to make you better, I guess is my point. If your purpose to go out and play golf is obviously to have fun, but if you're like really trying to like go and get better, like hitting a bad tee shot and then just like completely screwing yourself over with this other dumb shot, like, just move the ball. Like, just move the ball, give yourself a real chip. The course we're playing is not, you're not playing like TPC Sawgrass here. Like, you're playing, it's a public course, like, there's patches of grass. Like, just move the ball, man. Like, it's kind of painful to watch. And also, like, you're probably going to shoot like a 50, and that's totally fine. Like, I've been there. We've all shot 50 at 9 holes, like, or over 50. Like, he's probably shooting around there. Like, just move the ball. It happened again. We're playing a par 5, and on the like second or third shot that he had, he was up against like the cart path kind of ran through the fairway to drive near the green, and there's like a little like wooden fence, like maybe like 2 feet high. So there's the 2 foot high like little wooden fence, and then like right in front of it is the ball. And then he's like, "Hey, can I move this?" But he's like moving the fence, and me and my dad are like, dude, just move the ball. And he's like, oh, okay. Like, I just didn't know. Like, I don't know if that's like a rule or allowed. And I was like, dude, like, we don't care. Like, we really don't care. So maybe he was just playing it because he thinks that like we're gonna say something, even though it's just kind of odd. It was just odd. And like I feel bad for him in a way because like I asked him, I was like, how long have you been playing golf? And I think he said like a year or something like that. And I was like, how do you like it? He's like, I love it. He's like, I'm addicted. Like I love to play. And it's like, man, you would have so much more fun, like bang for your buck, if you just like gave yourself a little bit more of like a real golf shot, like every time, not every time, but like in times where you're up against a tree or like there's a fence, obviously move the ball, like who cares? So that just kind of like bummed me out that he was like, it's like struggling and, maybe he was having a fine time, but that's just my advice to anybody out there doing that. Like, unless you're playing for money, like it doesn't bother me if you like move the ball or like, there are multiple times where like I'm in the fairway and I'm like just it's just like it's just dirt, like dead grass, like not even, there's no grass. It's just like a dirt patch, like just a dead area. And I'm like, I'm going to move it onto the grass. But like they were playing it like straight up. And it's like, I guess in theory, I'm the better golfer. So like I should be playing it like this. But there's also this element of like, I'm also out here to like play golf and, we're only playing 9 holes. I only have a finite amount of shots I'm going to hit today. Like I want to make sure that like, yeah, I hit the fairway. I want to lock in on this 8-iron shot that I'm going to hit. I want to lock in on this like 155 that I have to hit. Like I don't want to have to worry about the stupid ground because I hit the fairway, like just move it in the grass. So that's my rant for that. I don't really have anything else to say about that other than move the ball. Now, here's something that happened. My dad and I, we played golf. We had a twilight round. We get stuck behind this threesome, right? And they are checking every bad box in the book. Like they're playing from the blues when they're terrible. They're awful. Playing from the blues, playing really slow, and they're playing really loud, like rave music, like just it's like every time we pull up on them, it's just like a like, okay, you can turn it down. Like we don't need to have like a we don't have like a mini EDC while we're watching you hit literally 3 balls off the blues. Anyway, so there was a moment. My dad and I, we were on the tee box. We were getting ready to tee off, and we see the guy coming back, right? Like he turned around, and so we kind of wait for him. Like obviously he's gonna like ask us something, or he's gonna drive past and like go to the bathroom. I don't know. So he asked us. He's like, "Hey, did you guys see like a wedge laying around anywhere?" We're like, "No, we didn't." He drives past us, and then I'm really trying to remember how this went, but like I think we either tee off or we're still waiting to tee off, and then he drives back, right? So now he's driving past us, but then he drives onto the hole that we are about to tee off on, and continues to play. Like, what? What are you doing? We literally just watched you drive past us to go look for your wedge, and then you come back and you finish this hole that we're on. Like, we're on the hole. Like, we're about to tee off, and we see him driving, and then he pulls into the fairway. We're like, what is he doing? Is he really finishing the hole? And we were just baffled. Like, it's such like just terrible etiquette. Like, I hate to be like the etiquette guy, but like, this was pretty bad etiquette. Like we were literally about to tee off. This guy drives past us looking for the wedge, drives back, gets back on the fairway, and continues to play out the hole again. And he's not a great golfer. Again, that's fine. You could be bad at golf. This is bad. Like we watched him. He was in the fairway and then he like hit it into the sand, and then he took 2 shots out of the sand, and then he like 4-putted, and he just like took his sweet ass time walking off the green. It's like, what are you doing, dude? And then finally we catch up to them like 6 holes later again, and they're just sitting there. They're waiting for the people in front of them to finish the hole. Not like just get to the green, like finish the hole. So we watched them watch the other people get off the green, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're just waiting for them to finish the hole." Like they were just totally fine with it. Like they're just like, "Oh yeah, we're like waiting for them to finish the hole." Like, you can tee off like while they're on the green. And guess what? They were playing from the blues, and none of them hit it in the fairway. None of them did. One of the guy that said they were waiting for their thing, we watched him top it and barely make it past the front tees, and he was hitting out of the rough before the fairway. Like, what are you doing? And then the next hole, we finally asked, like, "Hey, can we play through?" And so we finally made it through, and it was fine after that. But like, my God, just like the bad golf etiquette can really get the gears going. It can get the water boiling in my head. And it's like, I have all these steps that I'm taking in my head of like, you know what, it's okay, like it's fine. Like I'm doing all this like reverse engineering of like, okay, why am I so mad? Like, relax, dude, it's Saturday, what have you got to do? And then like something like that happens, and I'm just like, okay, like this is actually really annoying. Like I'm completely validated. Like these guys are being like huge, I try not to cuss on the podcast, so I'm not going to swear on here, but like huge morons, okay, to put it lightly, just being huge morons. So that's my golf etiquette rant. And since that's all I have left in the tank for the podcast, let's wrap it up. Thank you to everybody who's listening, watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join the fight against bogeys, okay? Go subscribe, go follow, tell a friend, do something. Be on the lookout for a YouTube video on the 23rd. I don't know when this podcast is going to be out, but we'll see you next time. And remember, golf is hard.